Know what I'm saying? It's, you know what, man? It started last Wednesday. It started last Wednesday with...
Tell the story?
With news, man, on the websites. It's just been non-stop since Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and normally the weekends, you get to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, things calm down a little bit.
A little bit.
It's just been non-stop, very little sleep. I
slept great.
You slept until about 2:30 today. 2:30. Yeah. It's been non-stop, news-wise, and we're gonna run down, everything for you guys tonight. Eric Bischoff and TNA. TNA possibly being sold, Hell in a Cell on Sunday night, Monday Night Raw from last night. Raw last night, it's almost like they hit the reset button on everything. It was just different storylines, except for the main program, obviously, but a lot of different storylines, a lot of different stuff going on.
It was a whole new ball game last night, yeah.
It was a whole new ball game, and
there he goes. He's quitting, guys. He quit.
I'm walking out on you. Walking out on you, So how are you, Army? How was your week? Good? Are you alive? Wake up!
What do you want me to say? You're doing your thing over there.
How's the Army? How are you? How was your week?
I'm not an Army.
How was your week? You're an Army member?
No, I'm not.
You're a leader of the Army.
I'll take that.
That's still a member.
No.
Whether you're a leader or not, you're still a member. I'm a member of the Army. We're all members of the Army.
No.
Some members are higher up than others. But we're all members. Get out of here, dude. We're all members of the Army, So yeah, that's. Basically tonight we gotta get right into things because Hell in a Cell, pretty good pay-per-view. It's not the ending that everybody wanted.
Nope.
And then the main question is how long can they keep going? Clearly everybody wants to see Daniel Bryan as WWE champion. Everybody wants Daniel Bryan as WWE. Are you okay? You're just kind of zoned out, silent over there.
You want me to interrupt you while you're telling
No.
the story? I laughed at getting called a Girl Scout.
Is that what it was? I see a big smirking over there. I'm just thinking, what the fuck is the smirk on his face for? But how long can they go with Daniel Bryan? Right?
Well,
where the fans finally get pissed off and they say, we've had enough.
I don't know if they get pissed off or if they just stop caring. I think it's to the point now where it's like even if he wins at Survivor, he's not even going to have a match at Survivor Series. But just for the sake of an argument, let's say he was going to win at Survivor Series. I would say, who cares? It's too late. I don't care anymore. You should have did it last time or this time or fucking 3 times ago. But at this point, it's really who cares.
Last 2 pay-per-views were brutal, and then they followed it up. And going into Hell in a Cell, they guaranteed us the new WWE champion, which we got. But it wasn't what the majority of fans wanted or what a lot of us expected, going in. So, and then Triple H once again on Raw last night. We are all sick in this house, by the way, guys. The baby got sick. The baby came down with it. We got runny noses.
I was the only one who hadn't got caught yet, and today.
And I think you got caught because we've all got runny noses in here. We're all losing our voices. It's been.
I should have some tissues or something over here to be ready for it, but I'll just snot all over you guys.
So yeah, we're gonna. And then the big news, like I said, man, TNA.
There's the big news right there.
Congrats to.
Congrats on the first win, Dino, says RKO 408 in the chat room. Who did Dino beat?
Dino's not in the chat, is he?
Who did Dino beat?
Yeah, damn it. Me.
He beat you.
Me.
Who is he beating?
Who beat you? Wait a minute. You're gonna come out here.
Beat by a great team.
You're gonna act like I got beat up. You got beat up too.
I didn't get beat up.
Yeah.
I got beat in a close game by a great team. You got beat by a guy who was 0-7.
All right, listen.
You suck.
I can justify it.
Let's hear your justification. I can't wait.
All right.
I'm alive now, cocksucker. Let's hear it.
Yeah, no doubt,
Go
no
ahead.
doubt.
You wanted me to talk? Here I go.
So the deal was
Here's the deal.
I was up. I played Dino UK. Everybody knows 0-7 is what he was going in, and I was up on Monday going into the Monday night game. I was up by 35 points. 30 or 35 points going into Monday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had Russell Wilson, which is his
left.
starting quarterback. It's a quarterback. Don't act like one player. The quarterback
just
puts
pointing
up,
out that it all came down to one guy on Monday night. The last game,
one guy,
Kenny
one
Wynn.
guy, the guy in the WZR Fantasy League that puts up the most points in the quarterback.
Yeah.
So we had Russell Wilson, who's been a pretty nasty quarterback for Seattle, right? This year. So I was up by a good, solid 30 points. And halftime came around, and Russell Wilson he had less than 10 points. He only had like 8 points through the half. So I had it up.
He had 12.
12 points through the half.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had it up through the half, and then the second half came around last night, and Russell Wilson throws this bomb pass for like 60 or 70 yards for a touchdown. And when a quarterback throws a bomb, you put up like 30 points for that one play alone. So Russell Wilson threw up this Hail Mary type shit, and the dude ran it in for a touchdown, and it put him up 30 points. If it wasn't for that one play, I would have beat Dino UK in the chat room. You know it. You guys know it. If you're into fantasy football, you know what happened to me last night. I got fucked by one play in the second half of that game.
If a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its rear end when it hops. You dig what I'm saying? You lost.
I get it. I lost.
10 minutes later, the end of the story is I lost.
I lost, but if it wasn't for that one, I'm trying to justify it. That's what I said. I'm going to try to justify
main guys on the bench. I got more of a fucking case for losing than you do.
All right, well, what about you? Let's talk about you. What happened? You had Matthew Stafford, who, if I'm not mistaken, put up 85 points.
Correct.
Right? 85. Your quarterback puts up 85 points,
and then
you wind up losing?
And then everybody under him was like second or third string guys. So I had pretty much one starter that I got to start, and the rest were either on bye weeks or injured or fucking you can't start certain amount. It just like I said. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. I lost.
You lost.
Yeah.
All right.
I lost.
I lost too.
But Detroit beat Dallas, and I lost to Mr. Lance Winter. His favorite team's Dallas. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm playing him. Mm-hmm. Detroit's playing Dallas, so it's like me versus him, my team versus his team. So I kind of got a little bit back in that Detroit stole it from Dallas right at the last second with a beautiful drive, 1 by 1 point. So I got a little bit.
That was a good game. That was a good game.
How'd the Bills do? You want to go on another 10-minute excuse tirade? Who'd they lose to?
I got no excuses for the Bills.
They lost to somebody in the house here.
They lost to the Saints, and
we
were out on the couch on Sunday watching that game. And wait a minute, let me justify this.
Oh, here we go.
Let me justify this one. And even the announcers said it. We played a very tough New Orleans Saints team. Okay, and the final score, I think, was 35-17. Now you're thinking, damn, 35-17. The Bills got blown the fuck out, right? Got crushed. Even the announcers at the end of the game said the score makes it look worse than it actually was. And Buffalo played a good team, and we looked good. Our defense looked good. Our offense looked good. But
they got twice as many points as you, so you got your ass kicked.
We lost.
Let that sit out there for a second.
It was a rough week in fantasy.
Won the great football. Well, you won in the one league.
I won in Dan's fantasy league. I beat House
for the second time ever, but yeah.
I know. I only got 2. Man.
He's basically Dino UK of the other league. So.
Yeah, pretty much. I know how it feels.
And
Dino
next
UK
week,
over
there's an interesting matchup. Well, this week on Thursday, it's me versus you.
Oh, we're playing each other?
It's me versus you.
Oh, man.
So get ready to lose again.
Oh, I can't wait until next Tuesday. I can't wait until next Tuesday when I come on here. I got my boys back next week, too.
You thought he had a long excuse for why he lost this week? Fucking forget about it. Wait till he has to sit next to me and explain his loss.
I got CJ Spiller coming back next week. I get Antonio Gates coming back next week. I'm solid next week. You got your roster back next week, too. You're not on a bye week.
I haven't checked.
Are you?
No, I don't know.
Can you put that out for me?
No.
Come on, bro.
I'm not doing it.
Come on, man. Will you please give me the ashtray?
That's very polite. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. You gonna spill it like the beer last week, or can you hand it back?
Take it back and put it over.
Are you gonna spill it like the beer last week? Can you handle it?
No, I got water this week.
Yeah.
So
you just spill water everywhere.
I do need to drop CJ. He's not doing anything. Freddie Jackson is.
Are you kidding me?
Taking all the carries too.
They say Stafford's on a bye this week. That's
That's what I'm talking about.
My God.
That's what I'm talking about,
I gotta
baby.
beat you without my best player.
You still want to talk? You still want to talk about next Tuesday?
I got Matt Ryan.
I'll see you next Tuesday. I'll see you next Tuesday, buddy. I'll see you next Tuesday. All right, get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com.
That's a dot.
/chat, WZROnline.com/chat. Lots of people in there, as always, tonight.
They say Matt Ryan is best, so I can't use Stafford or my backup. I have to use third string Carson Palmer quarterback to beat you.
Carson's not that bad.
He sucks.
Carson's not that
Look
bad.
at his numbers. He sucks. I don't care what they say on SportsCenter every morning. He doesn't do shit in fantasy football.
It's cold outside.
It's freezing in here.
It's freezing.
I was in
right?
a blanket and a sweater.
You were
all
supposed
day.
to get a little bit of snow tonight.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're supposed to sound unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Well, it will be when
we
it
need
happens.
we don't have it up, do we?
No.
We don't have the.
I've got the soundboard up. Is that part of it?
Do you? Oh yeah.
Where is it?
Unbelievable. Up here on the top.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Where's the other one? Oh, did you say another
They're
one?
all across the top there. Can you see? This is nuts. You gotta check it out.
This is nuts. Crazy amounts of snow. Crazy amounts of snow.
My soundboard, baby. So, yeah, we're only supposed to get a dusting or whatnot, but it's supposed to get down to like 20 degrees tonight, man.
Yeah, it
20.
was freezing last night.
It was. It
Freezing
got
all
down
day
to
today.
got down to 24 degrees last night, and it's supposed to get down to about 24 or 25 tonight too. So it's cold, man. It's cold.
He's got Luck and RG. All right, I'm gonna talk to you, RKO. What's your name on the? Oh, you're RKO League 2, right? Okay. I gotta get a quarterback, motherfucker. I'm not gonna sit here
I don't
and listen
like
to you
this
talk
guy. I don't
shit.
like this dude anymore.
He's
Who
gonna
is
talk
that?
shit next week.
RKO?
This, blah blah blah. But then I didn't have to do it with like half a team, so blow me.
This fucking guy, this RKO guy. Wait till I play you.
Tom Brady's
Wait
up
till
to.
I
All right,
play
I'm gonna
you.
talk to you guys after the show. I need some players, so.
They all want you. See, they
want to make it fair, asshole.
They're all. Oh,
You need
man.
to play your whole team against my fucking weakest version. The only guy I got that puts up points.
They're
is
all
Stafford
conspiring
and,
with
Arian
you,
Foster.
man. They're all conspiring with. We're gonna have spoilers. It's not gonna be a late night. It'll be about 10:30 to 11 o'clock Eastern time. We should have spoilers. You gotta watch on.
Yeah, I was just doing that for effect.
No doubt. I had to point that out because I couldn't
People
see
didn't
it.
see that there's
Right.
nothing there.
Exactly. All right. You are kind of dead tonight.
Every time I speak, you cut me off. I'm pretty much giving up. Is what's happening.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So WWE Hell in a Cell from this past Sunday night, top to bottom. What do you think?
Hell in a Cell as a whole, it was a good show. It's really hard to call it a good show when the main event, the finish of the main event, sucked. It was a bad decision in my opinion. So you kind of ruined the show as a whole when the thing everybody's waiting for sucks. So but everything underneath it was I thought was pretty solid. But at the same time, it's hard to. You know what? Maybe it wasn't such a great. Now that I think about it, because Punk that cage match wasn't all that great. What else was the top match? Cena Del Rio was okay. The Rose Brothers match was great, but that was the opener. So they set the bar, and I don't think anybody got to that bar for the rest of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cena Del Rio match on Raw was a lot better than the pay-per-view. I mean, to open Raw last night, that was Cena Del Rio. Cena and Damian Sandow. My bad. My bad. Yeah, that was a great match.
Yeah, I almost think that should have been the Hell in because it was such focus on the injured arm. That should have been the angle in Hell in a Cell, because I remember when Triple H came back from that quad tear back in 2002, when he came back to MS3, got the huge pop, but I just remember every match after that watching, like, damn, man, anything with that leg, I had the mindset that, like, wow, that leg is really fucked up, it's finally fixed, one small error, and he's right back where he started, and so you can play off of the emotions people have with that, especially with Cena coming back early from the triceps thing. If you really played up the arm, which they did to an extent, but I mean Del Rio's finisher is an arm bar. They just I think they missed some opportunities there, and I think they did a better job capitalizing on the injured arm on Raw, which of course was because Sandow attacked the arm before the match, so they had an easier way to but they should have done that more, I think, in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, we had, and then when we get into Monday Night Raw, we'll talk about Damian Sandow, but they had big plans for him.
That's the second guy to cash in.
Second guy ever to
only Cena was the other. Yeah.
Right. All right, so they kicked it off. It was Kofi Kingston and Damian Sandow. This was pretty good for.
That was great. Yeah.
For what it was, yeah. We had Sandow, one clean here. I mean, you would have thought, going in, they're going to have Sandow continue to win because he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. And at one point, they had big plans for him.
Oh, you're talking about the kickoff show match. Okay, right. I thought you were talking about the tag match. I'm sorry.
No.
It was a good.
So they had, they had big plans for Sandow by giving him the Money in the Bank briefcase, and it seems like, I mean, let's hope not. Let's hope they haven't soured on him, but that would have been the opportunity last night on Raw or at a future pay-per-view to have Damien Sandow cash in and have a run with the world title. But by, having him cash in, it just kind of, there's nothing special or extra about him anymore. He's just Damien Sandow, and they're not even going to give him a shot with the world title,
Yeah, they should have. That should have. Yeah, I don't know why they chose to do that last night. I mean, it seemed like it was done to help Cena as opposed to, you know what I mean? And like,
right, Cena doesn't need it.
No. He's coming off strong off the big, build up for his return. Then he wins the title at his return. He cut a promo. Yo, the most fucking ghetto promo I've ever heard in my life from Cena since the Thug Life days. But yeah, either way,
he was over the top.
He was crazy with that shit on Monday.
Right?
But with Sandow, I think it would have been better not to have him cash in because now, like you said, he doesn't have a get out of jail free card anymore. He's winning and losses matter to him again. His gimmick matters again, and if they don't keep him strong, back down he goes. Whereas that was a instant way to shoot him to the top, and they chose to just waste it after all the build up and all the time spent on it. And
I mean, to have him cash in and then have Cena defeat him clean, what does that do for Sandow? Nothing, bro.
No.
Like you said, John Cena doesn't need it, right? So it didn't make any sense other than they've completely soured on Damien Sandow, wanted to get the Money in the Bank briefcase off of him, and now what happens?
I don't know if they wanted to get the briefcase. I just thought they saw it as an opportunity to build Cena even more. Which, like you said, wasn't really even necessary. They didn't need to do that. Cena's built enough on his own, and like I said, with the build-up and the winning the title in his first match, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
they didn't need to do something more to build him up. He's already up there.
They're going to do Cena Del Rio in a rematch at Survivor Series, right? So did they keep Damien Sandow involved in that? And there you go. Cena comes out of nowhere. Oh, man.
Fucking ego, this is our show. You're trying to interrupt us and shit in the middle of talking.
My bad, I forgot to stop that. Of course, the Wi-Fi comes back now. But
you were saying they're gonna do the rematch. Del Rio, do they keep Sandow?
Do they keep Sandow in there in the mix?
I think Sandow's back to doing nothing.
Right, I think so too. I think you're right. All right, so the pre-show match is pretty good with Kofi Kingston and Damien Sandow. You had your expert panel. It was who was it? Caitlyn.
It was Dolph Ziggler, Caitlyn, and R-Truth. I believe.
True. You're right. Yep. Yeah. No doubt. All right. What'd you think of the opening match at Hell in a Cell? This is a tag team match.
This is the one. Yeah, I thought this was great.
Awesome, right?
Anything Goldust is doing lately is great.
I agree.
The Usos are always in good matches. The Shield are always in good matches. So there was no way it wasn't going to be good. But
Shield breakup after Raw last night. We'll talk about it when we get into Raw.
They
planted their seeds last night. Absolutely. So this is a great match to kick off the pay-per-view. You had Goldust, Cody Rhodes wound up retaining the WWE Tag Team titles here. But really, really good stuff to open the pay-per-view. Miz versus Bray Wyatt. I just don't see all the hype on Bray Wyatt coming out of NXT, coming out of developmental. This dude was having stellar matches down there. He was being praised. He was a great in-ring worker. And then he got called up, and they did the first match at, what was it, SummerSlam? Was that where the Ring of Fire match was? Terrible match, but the Ring of Fire took a lot away from it. Obviously,
it was more of a spectacle than a
right. Yeah. And then the matches with Kane, nothing special.
That was the match with Kane. That was the only one
there. And then didn't they? They didn't do two matches.
They beat him up after the Ring of Fire, and then we hadn't seen Kane again till Sunday night.
Okay,
but there was no Miz versus Bray Wyatt match. It was like a Raw segment. Miz came out because he had during the pre-show said he asked Vicky to sanction a match. She wouldn't do it, so he said because he's not medically cleared, and then she said, "All right, well then I guess there's going to be a fight." So after the tag match, Miz came out and pretty much just called Bray Wyatt out.
Right.
And instead of Bray coming out, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper came out. Beat the shit out of him, and then boom, Kane comes out. Kane beats up the Wyatt family. There was a real bad botched spot there with a body slam at one point, and then Kane and Miz were just standing there. You thought everything's done, and Kane turns to Miz, chokeslams him for no fucking reason.
And then it was like, it seemed like at the pay-per-view, they were going to continue the Kane versus Bray Wyatt storyline after all that happened.
Yeah,
right?
that seems like that's the point. He comes to make the save for Miz. Not so much save Miz as to get a chance to beat up the Wyatt family.
Right.
I think they illustrated that by having him chokeslam Miz. It's not about saving Miz. It's more about I want to beat these fuckers up. Mm-hmm. And then like last night, like you said, they changed direction so much that I don't think that's even in the plans anymore. In fact, you could make the argument because we've heard that the plan is for a Wyatt family traditional Survivor Series match, 4-on-4 at the pay-per-view at Survivor Series. So you're gonna have the Wyatt family, which is 3 people plus a 4th person, against CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and 2 other guys. You could argue that Kane would be the 4th guy over here.
On the Wyatt family.
And maybe that's why he took the mask off and said, "I'm your monster. Do with what you want."
See, but that's just like you were talking about. That's a case of, okay, on Sunday night they've got these plans where it looks like it's going to be Kane versus Bray Wyatt, and then on Monday night, and you put up on the websites today that there were major changes at Raw last night.
I heard they had 2 scripts.
Right.
One with because locally Vince McMahon was heavily advertised to be at Raw on Monday, like for the local fans.
Right.
This is what they were buying tickets expecting to see. This was the main thing they promoted, and then he wasn't there. And the reason was they had 2 scripts for Raw on Monday. One for Vince to be in the show heavily featured, like he was advertised to be, and 2. One without Vince, and I guess they went with the one without Vince. So
yeah, it just seems crazy. I mean, this is that in addition to the Kane Bray Wyatt stuff. Where now on Sunday night, like Boone said, you've got Kane attacking the Wyatt family, and then on Monday night, it seems like Kane may actually be teaming with the Wyatt family after attacking him one night earlier at the Survivor Series pay-per-view.
Could be. That's just me guessing, but I think he fits. Like, who else would you put with the Wyatt family that would fit?
Exactly.
I think he fits, especially if he's like, all right, because the Wyatt family kept alluding to the fact that the devil made me do it. So he's basically
hell and
so basically like he didn't do it on his own. He was told to do it. So who would tell him to do it? The authority. Right. Kane said he'll do whatever the authority. He's their monster. Use me how you wish. I'll do what's best for business. So that seems like a setup for that. And then the other thing I was going to mention, which was I think we called the reason Vince wasn't on Raw after the Raw commentary we do on Monday nights for the fans. I think we pretty much called that with the ratings and all that. We can get into that later, but I'm pretty sure that's why Vince held off, because he knew the rating was going to be up from Hell in a Cell anyway.
Let's not even tell him what we said last night about Vince McMahon. Well, I guess we have to, because we're going to run down Raw. But you guys got to tune in on Monday nights. See, that's going to be our cheap plug.
Yeah.
In order to hear what we got to say on Monday nights, you got to come to the live Raw chat room. Speaking of the chat room, WZROnline.com/chat, WZROnline.com/chat. Every Monday night we do a live Raw chat room, guys. Come on in, put the audio stream up. Boone comes in, normally during the commercial breaks. I'm there all the time. Leave you guys alone during the matches, and then Boone and I chime in during the breaks. So we had, like you said, there was no finish there, right? Kane comes out.
It wasn't a match. It was
it
was just a
pretty
segment.
much nothing.
Yeah.
We could skip the Divas match, right? It was
Summer Rae made her debut in a mixed tag match. Her and Fandango won.
Okay.
So that's it.
We had Dean Ambrose and Biggie Langston.
That was set up on the kickoff show. Langston wasn't part of the expert panel, but he joined it at one point, and while they were doing a special interview with The Shield, Langston kind of interrupted and called out Ambrose. He said, you got a title, because Langston was supposed to fight Curtis Axel on the kickoff show, but Axel injured both of his hip flexors.
How about that, man?
That's gotta suck.
That sucks.
And we got more about Axel later with the guy that used to be on this show a lot, Conan. So we'll talk about that later. But anyways, they set up Langston and Ambrose for the U.S. title at the kickoff show, and that's what happened here. And those two both got injured during the match.
They did.
A big situation where they collided heads, or Ambrose's chin to Langston's face, and Langston needed like 9 stitches or something to close his eye.
Boone put photos up of what he's talking about at WZROnline.com/photos. My God,
graphic
bro.
photos. Yeah,
it's
disgusting. But especially But anyways, so Ambrose wins here clean, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, was it clean?
It was clean.
Yeah, so a clean win there. They both got hurt, and like we were talking about last night during the Raw commentary that we just plugged, it seems like blood's not allowed in WWE. But if you do bleed, it'll be heavily promoted. They'll do a video on .com showing you getting stitched up. They'll highlight it on Raw. It's almost like you get put over for fucking getting cut and surviving on,
They referenced the cuts on the pay-per-view, but they said busted open. They never said blood.
Yeah, the banned words that we talked about.
Right? Yeah. Right? It was exactly what it was. It was busted open, and something else. Jerry Lawler was on commentary. What'd you think? You didn't like this? The LNSL?
With the Punk? Yeah.
I'll tell you what the best part was, where Paul Heyman's coming out on that machine, right? That
scissor lift, yeah.
That lift, yeah, the scissor lift. And the dude's driving it, right? And it kept getting stuck on the ramp. And Paul Heyman's got this look on his face like, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now, dude. Get me to the fucking ring. And then the whole basis around the match was 2-on-1 inside Hell in the Cell, right? No Heyman in the cell.
Yeah. It was promoted as a handicap match, and it was a one-on-one match with Heyman on top of the cage watching. And then afterwards, you're pretty much guaranteed Punk's gonna finally get his hands on Heyman. And this was built up so much so that I think the way they did it, kind of a letdown. I mean, all he did was, because Heyman's legitimately afraid of heights. You know that?
Yes,
There's a famous story when he was in Memphis, Jerry Lawler's promotion at the time.
Didn't Lawler talk about this on commentary? I think he brought it up.
Probably
right?
did, but the backstory is it was just trust me. All right, so
well, tell a story. We love stories, right? We love stories.
So it's a scaffold match. They promoted it as a scaffold match, and this was told on one of the Legends of Wrestling roundtables about Heat Seekers. So Lawler and the Memphis guys promote this big scaffold match. They sell the building out, and everybody's waiting for this scaffold match. And then the night of the show, Heyman tells Lawler, I can't go up on the scaffold. I'm afraid of heights. I'm not going up there.
Right.
And Lawler's like, well, what are you fucking kidding? We just promoted this. The tickets are sold out. Everybody's here. What do you mean you can't go up on the scaffold? I can't. I'm afraid of heights. So, long story short, during the show, Lawler punches Heyman, legitimately punches him, and breaks his jaw.
In the backstage area?
No, out in the ring. But I mean, he broke his jaw for real. Like, he really hard way hit him and broke his jaw. They're dislocated his jaw. Either way, he fucked him up. So that's the story.
So they didn't go through with the scaffolding.
They did.
All right, they did. Mm-hmm. They did. And then during the match, Lawler said, "Fuck you, man.
For
you fucking
up. Yeah.
Damn, no shit. I'm scared shitless of heights, bro. I get up a ladder. I get up a 10-foot ladder. Don't get near.
Why don't you use to jump off the balconies? And
I can do stuff like that, man, if there's something below, if there's like a bush or something like that. But damn, if I get up on a ladder or something like that and I look down,
But no, this fucking guy, I think we told it on not this show. We just told it a week or two ago on the Raw commentary. Again, you should tune in. We tell a lot of good stories.
Every Monday night, right?
We were telling a story about this crazy fuck. Back in the, right when ECW closed, he was all about hardcore wrestling. Still loves it to this day. He loves watching ECW on YouTube and all this and that. So I can't believe you haven't seen Rise and Fall of ECW.
Gotta watch that, dude.
Anyways, this fucking guy, like, he would hand you like a fucking big light fucking tube and like, yo, break this over my face, and you'd break it over his face and he'd start bleeding and fucking I'm fucking. And then there was this one night where we
used to do the thing Sandman had the beer cans.
He would literally until he started bleeding hit himself in the face with a beer can. It's fucking crazy. And then, but yeah, the one time I'm talking about, we lived on a two-story apartment, and there was a bush below. And he would get out on the balcony we had with the bars, and he would stand up on the bar, so he's even higher than 2 stories off the ground. And he'd like do a fucking flip and land in the bush. And he'd get up and be like, "Yeah, I'll do it this way now." And then he'd like just fucking dive off sideways.
This shit hurt.
Crazy
shit hurt,
shit,
man. That hurt.
He would do some fucking dumb shit. Break this light bulb over my face, you know. He was a psycho.
Yeah, it was
the one that really got you.
Stupid.
There was
times,
a crate.
Man.
There was a crate in your bedroom, I remember, and it was like a plastic crate, but it was like fucking cut open, and like so the one piece was jagged and sharp as a rock.
And it went right up.
And he was doing a thing where he had this mattress you could bounce on, and he was like having me he was feeding for hip tosses, so I'm like hip tossing him, back body dropping him, all this shit. And I think it was a power bomb. I got him up for a power bomb and power bombed him on the crate.
I went on the crate and the fucking spike on this crate went right into my back. Oh,
like pierced his fucking liver or something.
Oh, yeah.
He was fucked up for a while over that.
That hurt.
He's a daredevil. What are you gonna do?
Anyway, so what else? Let's finish up Hell in the Cell, dude, and then we'll get into Raw last night. Thanks for putting me over, too.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't think the handicap match was all that great.
It really wasn't.
It was a quick match, too, and they didn't do a lot there. And
fans got what they paid for, I guess. Just happened.
It just wasn't as good as what they thought it would be, I would think. Yeah, like he got his win. He finally beat the guys. He finally got his hands on Heyman. It just wasn't what you envisioned.
It was a cool spot, though, at the top of the cage. It looked cool up there, right? I mean...
Kind of, because the only problem is Heyman's so afraid of heights that when he's hitting him with his stick, he's, like, not flattened out for it. He's, like, almost holding on and, like...
You could see
he's going, But this is it. This is the movement he's doing right here, right? He's going, and he's, like, not even moving. So you're like, you think he'd be like, like, fucking selling it, but he's too afraid to flop around and he don't want to fall through the cage.
Well, Heyman, to be honest with you, Heyman's probably thinking, Vince fucking kind of despises me inside of him, so they probably got this fucking cage rigged, and I'm gonna fall through this motherfucker. Of course they would do that, but Heyman's probably thinking, man, you never know, man. You never know. Look who I'm working for.
Because, like, the way
Foley, scared shitless.
When Foley went through the cage, a lot of people know he got thrown off, but the more vicious of the two, because of how hard the ring is when you fucking go through the cage and fucking land on the ring. That fucking had to hurt way worse than the other thing. That was not supposed to happen.
Do you know?
That just kind of happened.
You bring up Foley right now, right?
The cage wasn't supposed to break.
No.
When Foley went through it,
when he went through it, wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
You're right. I remember that.
And it was the very next thing that he did after he got up off the ground from getting thrown off the cage. He got reeled up the fucking thing in a gurney or stretcher or whatever, and he finally comes back down and climbs right back up on top. First thing fucking Taker does, blast him with the chair, choke slam, and she goes through the cage.
Through the fucking cage.
He's like, oh my god, he's dead. It's so great.
No, I was looking at the Hell in the Cell structure on Sunday night, and I said, wow, Foley went off the top of that motherfucker,
He's fucking crazy.
Foley went off the top of that motherfucker.
Would you do that?
If I was I'll tell you this, man. If I was in front of, I would.
Fuck no.
If I was in front of 15,000 people, and I knew the reaction and the pop that I would get getting thrown off the top of that cage, it's gonna hurt like hell. No doubt, but you live with that later. I think it's like Jeff Hardy, man. Jeff Hardy goes up there and he does shit, and you don't think about the pain. If you're up there and you think, God damn, this is about to fucking hurt, you already know it's about to hurt. But do the fucking thing and worry about the pain later. That's what I used to do when we used to do the crazy shit. Worry about the pain after the fact that it happens. Don't be nervous.
If you think about it, you'll hesitate, and you don't want to hesitate in those situations.
Don't think about it and do it. Just don't think about it and do it. So yes,
I don't care if there's 500,000 people and they're screaming at the top of the lungs.
I do it. Hell yeah.
Doing it.
For that pop?
No fucking way.
For that pop?
I don't care about a pop.
Man.
I ain't jumping off a fucking cage. No way.
Oh yeah. You know you're not. First of all, you're not.
If I was, I'd do the Rikishi thing. Like set up a big fucking truck full of hay so it's nice and soft, and I fucking land.
Oh, you.
That would be my bump.
I would do it, man. Yeah. I would do it.
Shane McMahon was crazy too with that shit. He would get up on the Titantron and just fucking fall backwards.
Yep.
Psycho.
That was crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's see. We got we'll finish it out here. We had the Los Matadores against Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro.
Who again?
They did the spin. I said it. I put the S in it.
Yeah.
God damn it. Right. Los Matadores.
There you go.
They did the spin move, giant swing, Cesaro again. What do you get, like 30?
31 is what
31
JBL
times?
said, yeah.
Okay, all right, no doubt. We had, here we go, returning John Cena, right? God, before John Cena came out, there must have been a full 1 minute pause before that theme music hit, dude. It was like, Cena's coming, Cena's coming, Cena's coming. Theme music hits. Wah, wah, wah. It's like, he got a decent reaction. He got a decent.
I'd say about 80. I wrote in my play-by-play 80-20. I'd say like 80% of the crowd popped and 20% were doing the boos. And then I said quickly it changed.
It changes.
Within the very first second of the match, you had the loud "Cena sucks" or "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks."
Right.
So it was right back to where you know.
He always. I think it happens everywhere. He always gets that initial pop. And then when he gets to the ring and the match starts, everybody's like,
I think that was a different initial pop. He always gets an explosion of a reaction, but it's half fucking positive, half negative, but it's loud.
Right.
Last night, I think it was a nice fucking positive pop. A lot of boos, but not that much, you know. Right. And then within the fucking beginning of the match, it was right back to fucking half the building hates him, the little kids and girls love him.
Exactly.
And I think Monday night, he didn't do anything to help himself with that fucking yo. We'll get into that.
We're going to talk about it in just a second here. Cena won clean. With the attitude adjustment, right?
He was putting the arm bar, I think, and like powered him up, and then fucking threw him up for the attitude adjustment.
Right. That was the finish. Yeah, and then I said last week on WZR, I don't think. I mean, John Cena's coming back, And there's no way that on his first night back they're gonna have him lose, right?
No.
They're not gonna have him lose clean. So you knew he was coming back,
And they even real quick they teased. They showed Sandow watching the match backstage holding his briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
So they teased that he was going to cash in, and then nothing.
Right, exactly. So Cena winds up coming back. He returns. He wins the world title. It gets Cena on both Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown's ratings are down, so they want a little boost by having John Cena on SmackDown. But then, it's good for business, right? Good for business.
It's best for business.
Best for business. But it's good. It's best for business to have John Cena over on SmackDown. Hope to get a ratings boost. But is it smart? Where the dude's only been out for 2 months, man. He's coming back from surgery. What you doing? What you
making
not
facial reactions
Is it smart to bring him back, put him on pay-per-view, and then have him every week wrestling on both Raw and SmackDown?
I was going to say, they're going to overexpose him again really quick.
Not overexpose, but maybe overwork him, bro. You're not. If you have surgery,
oh, you're talking about, yeah.
If you have surgery, bro, and you come back and they already got you working all house shows, overseas tours, Raw, SmackDown. I get it. The dude's a beast. That's gonna catch up with him, man. It's gonna catch up.
I think it's more if he wants to work as much as possible. He's just fucking. He's a psycho.
He may want to, but the company needs to take a stand and say, you know what? Although you may want to work this much, it's better for your health if you just appear on Raw. But Vince is Vince, and if Cena wants to work and Cena's their top guy and ratings are down, I want you. I want you on Raw. I want you on SmackDown.
If he's not begging, but if he's just, I work all these shows, Vince is like, great, we'll sell more tickets and this and that. But at the same time, they can get around having him do shit in matches. They can schedule a match out in a way where he's not taking many risks to his health. He's not. You don't have to worry about this or that. As long pay-per-views go all out. House shows, TV shows, you can have a nice 10-minute match without doing anything really risky to your health. You know?
And hopefully they do, but I think Vince is a workhorse himself, right? So he wants all of his talents to be workhorses too. That's why there's no off days, there's no vacations in WWE. You're working full time all year round, and if Cena's ready to go, whether there's concern that he may get hurt again, they'll worry about that if it happens. If it happens, then we'll worry about that at that time. Right, exactly. And then we had AJ Lee against Brie Bella for the Divas title. AJ Lee retains here. Thank God they're giving AJ Lee a title reign for at least a little bit, dude. She got the tattoo on her neck and everything else. When she won the title and everything. I thought they were gonna have her go and get this tattoo. WWE didn't force her to get a tattoo. She did that on her own, obviously, but WWE is, they see a diva or somebody get a tattoo and then the next night they say, fuck you, we're taking I got you, or something like that, just to fuck with them. But they're giving her a decent title reign. Plus I think AJ right now is probably the most over diva in WWE, and the Bella Twins right behind her.
She's getting like Trish Stratus level reactions when she comes out. She's like, and you can tell, just like Trish, she's arguably the hottest in the company, and at the same time has the most passion for actual wrestling. Like, you can tell she's a real wrestling fan.
And not only that, but she said she's come out in interviews too, right? And she said that ever since she was a kid, she'd go to Madison Square Garden.
She always wanted it. She loved it. You remember the time she met Lita? She's crying and shit, all that.
There's a photo of that, I think, out there, right?
We got it on the site.
Yeah. WZROnline.com/photos. My boy Matty Boone hooks it up over there. If you guys don't check out that section, my man puts up a good 3, 4, 5, 6 galleries every single day over there. WZROnline.com/photos. Newest stuff. You got the injuries from Hell in a Cell. Lots of Hell in a Cell photos. It's good stuff over there, man. Alright, speaking of WZR Online, get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com/chat, WZROnline.com/chat. Alright, let's finish up WWE Hell in a Cell, bro. Main event time. Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Shawn Michaels.
They had a Bob Backlund appearance too, real quick. Did a dance thing with the primetime players. And then we got to the main event, and what'd you think?
The match itself was fine.
Fine, but not great.
Not great.
This was the final Bryan Orton match. They've had so many already. This is the third one on pay-per-view in a row. You figure this is the one where we go fucking balls out.
Right.
And Bryan finally wins and does it, and they didn't do any of that. They didn't go balls out.
Yeah.
Bryan didn't win. It was the most gimmicky finish in the world, and I hate when they let people open that fucking door on a Hell in a Cell.
Tell me about it,
ruins
right?
the entire the whole point of a Hell in a Cell is nobody can get in, nobody can get out. And when your finish is based around somebody voluntarily, and not even like a Big Show ripped the door off or anything like. He just hey, open the door for me. Okay, here you go. And he walks in and
yeah, didn't we say that something was going to happen? Somebody was getting inside that cage where the Big Show came out and ripped the cage door
we thought
off.
Big Show was going to lead to Bryan winning, and that would devalue Bryan's win. They didn't even let Bryan win, so they said fuck the fans. We don't care. They like Bryan. He's not going to be our guy, no matter how much you want him to be. We ain't going with him. Just not happening.
Not right now, and maybe
soft little troll. He's a B+ player at best.
The problem is they honestly believe that backstage. Triple H and people backstage honestly believe that Daniel Bryan looks like a troll. How the fuck is he this over? And they're just basically fucking with the fans,
in that
man.
Company,
they're
there's
fucking
always
with
things
the fans.
to do. Like I remember when RVD was, people were begging for RVD to be the top guy.
And they won't do it.
There's always a little thing you can do backstage to the management, Vince, whoever, to kind of keep him down. And the RVD's knock was he's dangerous in the ring. He'll hurt people. Blah, blah, blah. You'll have too many guys injured if you have him on top working with all your other top guys. You'll have too many top guys injured. Daniel Bryan, he doesn't have the look. He's not big enough.
Right.
He fucking can't really cut a great promo, which I think he can. But
it is for those that we've been doing this for 15 years, man. Politics in pro wrestling have held so many people back, and when you're talking about politics and you're talking about Triple H, Vince McMahon, people like Michael Hayes backstage, politics get involved and they hold people down, and that's granted, maybe Daniel Bryan, if they don't put the title on Daniel Bryan, after all of this, man, if they don't put the title on Daniel Bryan, and it seems to me like they're moving on to Randy Orton versus Big Show, Daniel Bryan, he ain't there anymore, man. They're going on to a different feud in Big Show, Randy Orton. So maybe they honestly believe that we're not giving Daniel Bryan the title.
They're not.
Despite down the line they may, but for right now,
possible down the line. But I'm saying right now, while he's hot and everybody's begging for it, they're not doing it.
They're not going to.
It's over. He's done it in far as the title picture.
And
they're going like you said. Big Show's the new top baby face, and then Cena. Or Cena, then Big Show, either way. And Bryan's not even in the top fucking three.
It's almost like they enjoy pissing off their loyal, diehard fans. They enjoy pissing people off because they know everybody wants Daniel Bryan as WWE Champion. We ain't giving it to him. And not only that, but we're moving on to Big Show and Randy Orton.
I think they think the vocal minority wants Daniel Bryan to be the champion, and they're like, well, really, that's not the majority of fans. But it's just the loudest, passionate fans want to see him as champion, whereas majority of fans like Cena. That's why he sells more merchandise. That's why he gets bigger reactions.
I'm thinking about this. All right, Big Show and Randy Orton takes place at Survivor Series, the next pay-per-view, right? As well, Daniel Bryan, we don't know what's going to happen to him. Then, at the following pay-per-view, WWE TLC, they're talking about doing Big Show versus Triple H at that pay-per-view. I'm thinking if they go on to do that, they could always bring Daniel Bryan back in the title picture, Randy Orton. I think Big Show goes on to face Triple H, and John Cena probably loses the title to Del Rio, and John Cena comes over to work with Randy Orton. So we're going to have a John Cena-Randy Orton feud, and then we're going to have a Big Show Triple H feud. And then what happens to Daniel Bryan and who Del Rio feuds with? I don't know. But I think we're going to see Cena Orton at TLC. We're going to see Big Show and Triple H at TLC. Daniel Bryan and Del Rio, I don't know. Maybe Daniel Bryan versus Del Rio, switch it up. Do something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
I think Daniel Bryan will finally win the title, whether it's WWE or World. Probably at WrestleMania. He'll go on to win the Rumble, and then he'll win. And then they can all say, "Well, this is our plan all along. Let's have him finally have his big moment on the big stage."
But is he still privately that hot?
That's my point. If you let me finish one point, they're gonna let him get to WrestleMania with the hopes. Triple H in the hopes, if he cools off by then, they can be like, "See, we were gonna put him over WrestleMania, but he's not hot anymore. Well, now we're not gonna do it." But I'm saying, I think that's the politics we're talking about. Is that, well, let's wait for the big stage to give him his big moment. Privately hoping by the time we get to the big stage, nobody cares, and then they go a different direction. But I think that's that's how they justify not doing it now, is by saying, well, let's wait. If this is really what everybody wants, let's give it to him on our big show and have him have his big moment where it's as big as it could possibly be. But privately in the back of their mind, they're like, by the time we get there, people won't give a shit anyway, and we could just do something else and be done with this Daniel Bryan situation. We don't have to fucking worry about him anymore. We'll see.
All right. So that was WWE Hell in a Cell from this past Sunday night. Monday Night Raw from last night.
This as a show overall, I thought was pretty damn good. But again, the big finish was kind of, they're focusing on the wrong things, because if they're doing Orton Big Show, let me ask you, which match did you want to see? Which match would you pay a ticket to see at the end of that show? Triple H versus Big Show, or Randy Orton versus Big Show?
Triple H Big Show.
Exactly. But if that's not what they're doing, then again, they're focusing on something so far down the line, it just doesn't make any sense. Survivor Series is Big Show, TLC isn't. If they're doing Orton Big Show at Survivor Series, they need to start the fucking build now and get off of this Triple H Big Show thing.
Why do you think that is? Because Triple H is trying to put the focus on himself.
Anytime he's doing something, he wants to be the main event. He wants to be the focus. If he's going to get involved, he wants to be the guy.
Even if you've got a match, Boone and I talked about it last week, right? You've got a match between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, which just headlined on Sunday night, which headlined Hell in a Cell. On the go-home show, on last week's Raw, Triple H cuts this promo on both Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. And coming out of Raw last week, not last night, the week before, coming out of Raw, everybody was talking about Triple H and not Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, who were main eventing the pay-per-view. So,
I don't even know what else you said at all. Yeah, it's a complete waste. Like, this is our last chance to get people to buy the show this week that Triple H isn't on.
He's not even wrestling, right?
And he's going to be the main focus when the show's over. It's just retarded.
It's stupid, dude.
Big Show being the second most thing. He wasn't on fucking Hell in a Cell at all either.
Yeah, they kept Big Show right off Hell in a Cell.
Barred from the building, but yeah, like that turned out to, why bar him from the building if it's not going to bite him in the ass later? Like, he's banned, but he shows up anyway, which would be the more of a beginning of Vince coming back saying, like, how do you get in when he's banned? But they didn't even do anything with it. So the point of banning him and making an angle out of that was pointless, because there was no use of it.
We had, for Raw last night, right? We had,
Well, John Cena opened the show, and then
John Cena came out, right? They announced that on .com. John Cena came out. He cut this promo. God.
Yo, let me tell you something. I'm from the streets. Y'all don't know. Y'all, I ain't even gonna say. It was just the most ghetto-fied John Cena I've ever heard, I think. I mean, I'm going back to Thug Life. Yo, Word Life.
What did he say? We gonna
get it crazy up in here this week.
He said, he meant to say, we gonna get.
Gone.
But he said, we gonna get cray up in here tonight, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what the
Man, it
fuck?
was douchey as hell. It was douche chills galore.
It was back to Thugonomics, and it was like Thugonomics times 10
To
last
infinity,
night,
yeah,
bro.
without the rhyming either. Like, that was the only good thing about all that ghetto shit, was that he would do it in a way where it all rhymed, like a freestyle. He wasn't even rhyming. He was just being ghetto for the sake of being ghetto. Yo, you know what I'm talking about? Back, yo. And you better represent. And I'm back. Shut
It was bad,
up,
bro. It was terrible.
God damn.
Some people are happy that he's back. Other people aren't. It's the same old shit, right? John Cena's back.
Unfortunately, it is the same old shit. He had a fucking t-shirt hanging out of his fucking pants. He could wipe the sweat. Like,
yeah.
So fucking ghetto.
So Del Rio comes out, right? And got a rematch clause. And he takes
Sandow
it.
came out.
Del Rio came out and then beat him up. And then Sandow came out later.
This is where Sandow came in the ring.
I thought Del Rio was the one that crushed his arm in the steel steps and shit. That was Sandow?
Yeah. He came out with his briefcase. He pretended like he was going to cash it in. Because he said, I know after 2 fucking months you can't be 100%. You're more hurt than you're letting on. I can cash this in whenever I want. And then he says, but not tonight. And then as he goes to walk away, Cena grabs him. And then Sandow blasts him with the briefcase. He starts beating him with the briefcase. Throws him out of the ring.
That was Sandow. Del Rio came out later.
He just got a little promo later with
right,
the flag
right.
behind him on the stage.
You're right. My bad. I get them confused. Why am I getting Del Rio and Sandow confused? I did it in...
They have D names?
I don't know. So he comes out, like you said, right? Blasts his arm into the steps and then hands the briefcase. cashes in, and then we get a good match, man. A really good match.
Really good match. Yeah, I mean, they worked the arm a lot, like they should have done at Hell in a Cell. I mean, they worked it some at Hell in a Cell, but it was really the entire focus of the match was that he's hurting this guy's arm that's already surgically repaired.
Right.
Oh, fuck, he's going to lose, then he's going to get hurt and be gone again on the sidelines. And when it was all said and done, that was only done to show that Cena's a fucking tough guy that can overcome, which we already knew because he's back fucking 6 months early or whatever it is. So you didn't need to illustrate that point at the cost of having him cash in and mean nothing.
Yeah, it was just, and Cena, like he said, did a great job of selling that arm during the match. Basically worked the entire match with one arm.
Yeah.
Then hit the the attitude adjustment, right? 1, 2, 3, pinned him clean. Sandow passes in, loses his Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, what happened to Sandow? We talked about it earlier. Who knows?
He's probably going to be back down to doing nothing.
It's almost like they soured on him big time.
Yeah, and it's like he had that thing ready-made with Cody Rhodes when they finally split up as a tag team, when he still was fucking having the briefcase and screwed Cody Rhodes into getting it at the Money in the Bank match, and then he had it forever, and they threw it in the lake, and he got a nicer one, and him and Cody had this fucking blood feud,
right?
And then they did nothing with that.
Yeah, 1 week that just completely ended.
It was just done out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then this was the other thing. They've been building up forever. He carries the briefcase everywhere he goes. All his interviews and media appearances. He's the Money in the Bank. Guarantees him a title shot.
Yeah.
And he's so smart that he would not cash it in unless he's 100% sure he's going to win.
And yet he comes out on Raw last night, right, where John Cena's cutting a promo, not even beaten down, not even, John's already been beat up, he's already been in a match. He's so smart that he comes out where John Cena is pretty much healthy, right? He's returned. He's back. We know he had surgery, but he's back and standing there cutting a promo. So that's the best time that you could think to cash in is when John Cena's out there cutting a promo?
He teased he was going to cash in there.
And then he beat him up.
He was going to hand the briefcase to the ref and said, I can cash this in whenever I want. He goes to hand it to the ref, and just for a quick heat thing, he says, but not tonight. And then he goes to leave the ring, and Cena kind of grabs him and turns him around, and then he blasts him, beats the shit out of him with the briefcase. Chair shot on the steps outside the ring, and then I guess he's
so that's where it made sense.
Yeah,
that's where it made sense.
In a sense, right. But from a perspective of he's been building this up for so long that he should absolutely win when he finally cashes it in. They just had him cash it in to prove Cena's a tough guy that can overcome odds. Which, my God, we've had enough examples of that. You didn't need to waste the one thing this guy has, which is the briefcase, to make that point, which has already been made a million times.
Right. They had, it was Dean Ambrose and Biggie Langston. It was a rematch from the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, right? Didn't last very long because Vicky Guerrero eventually came out and made it into a 3-on-3, right? It was Biggie
Usos.
Langston and the Usos against the Shield, all 3 members. So Dean Ambrose was already out there, obviously, and then Rollins Reigns came. So then they went to a commercial break, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to come back. Rapid fire in our numero dos. Going to put it up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Submit your rapid fire questions into our live chat room, WZROnline.com. Number 2, taking live phone calls. Son of a bitch. Be right back. Rapid fire going up right now.
All right, he's going to post some rapid fire. What would you call it? Content? No, because that's what you guys give us. Anyways, he's putting the rapid fire thing up, and you guys can participate in the rapid fire by logging on to your little web browsers and going to facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Once you get there, the top post will ask for your questions and comments for the rapid fire session, which we will get to near the end of the hour, and keep them brief, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the routine. Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. We're also taking your phone calls this hour at, 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070. We'll be taking your callers throughout the hour. Rapid fire at the end of the hour.
Always forget to do that, man.
Usually I plug it, but I got so much to handle over there now that you were doing it, and then...
Let's blame it on the busyness, dude. It's been such a busy fucking week, man. We do have a main event and SmackDown correspondent, right? So we should be able to give you guys some live spoilers here in just a little bit. We're going to finish up Monday Night Raw. Submit your rapid fire questions right now. All right, no doubt. Boone already told you where to submit them. So go do that so we can answer your questions. We'll also be taking questions out of the live chat room. And, like I said, your live phone calls tonight, too, as well. Boone just plugged the number. I heard him do that, too. So we're going to finish up Raw. Also going to talk a lot of TNA stuff going on. Got to talk about the potential sale in TNA. Everybody automatically assumes Hey, I will give this man props.
For months.
You said,
For months. 2014's it, guys. I've been telling you. And well, it might not
I think
be,
in my personal opinion, I think the sale reports are overblown, and I'll tell you why. I think that overblown, over-exaggerated. I don't think that the company is for sale. I mean, they're not putting a fucking advertisement out on Craigslist and saying we're for sale, something like that. Just as an example, obviously they're not going to put TNA for sale on Craigslist. Give me a break. But I'm going to talk about why I believe, these reports, a lot of people are reading into these reports a lot more than what there is to the story.
you didn't see the article I put up today then, did you?
I believe that they are, if someone were, let's talk about it, man. I mean, we'll get back into Raw, because we're on this subject. If someone were to approach TNA today and say, we will offer you X amount of dollars for this company, and if it's in the ballpark or above what TNA has in their mind, then TNA would think about the offer. But they're not actively advertising, hey everybody, TNA is for sale. They're putting the feelers out there that if there are interested parties, come to us with an offer and we will talk. But there's not a for sale sign on TNA right now.
That's what I keep referencing. Did you read the article I put up today about
I did not.
sale? I can tell because they are for sale. The whole article is about they're not publicly saying they're for sale because of it's complicated and it'll take forever to explain. But they are looking to sell the company, but they are not publicly making it for sale. And I can't remember the reason, but it was broken down to me, and I tried to recap it to be good in the article. And yeah, so they're looking to sell the company, but they're not willing to sell it to anybody. So it's not we're not publicly for sale, best offer gets it kind of thing. It's more of a, we want to sell this company if we can find the right deal and the right buyer.
What I said. Yeah. That's pretty much what I said.
You were saying saying they're not for sale because they didn't put a public sign up saying they're for sale.
If they get an offer from the right party, like I said, like an interested party who offers X amount of dollars, and if it's what TNA has in mind, if they were to get rid of the company, then sure, they're going to entertain that offer and say, all right, let's talk business. But like you said, and like I said, they're not putting it out there for the public, hey everybody, we're for sale, da-da-da-da-da. They're basically sending feelers out through certain people to basically get it out there on the internet that we will entertain offers from interested parties, but you're going to have to come to us with a lot of money. So, are they for sale? I guess, yes.
I think it's like a situation where legally, if you say you're for sale, if you announce you're for sale, there's like a deadline. You have to sell, and no matter, even if you don't want to, but I think they're doing it in a way where there's basically, let's see what we can get. Let's not say we're for sale, because then we have to sell to no matter what. I forget how the legalities work. I'm not
You think it has to do with Spike TV?
Well, that's it. One of our guys, I don't want to give the wrong guy credit. I think it was either George Romero or Ranjit.
Yeah.
He tweeted me and said, it was just a hypothetical situation. Do you think if TNA were to go out of business, quote unquote, you think Viacom, Spike TV, would buy the company to retain the programming? And I said, you know what? Probably, because they hit the perfect demographic that Spike TV targets. They hit that fucking 18 to 39 or 49-year-old.
Or is it the opposite? Or do the Carters want to try to keep this on the DL that they're for sale in fear that if Spike TV finds out that, hey, you're looking to sell this company without telling us? What the fuck?
No, I'm sure
and Spike TV gets pissed.
I'm sure Spike's aware of it. If they're even entertaining offers, I would think they would have.
But Spike TV would have nothing to do with the sale. Spike TV handles the TV aspect of things.
Yeah, they would, because they got a contract to have their company air on Spike TV.
Okay, but even if a new owner were to come in, then they would talk to Spike TV. Hey, we've got a new owner that's interested. Let's talk. Can we retain the TV deal that we have? And the new owner.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how their contract's written. It could be written in a sense that whoever owns it, no matter what, this company airs on this channel for this amount of time, or it could be a contract that says, as long as you guys own it, you have this contract, but if you sell it, then this contract's null and void, and the new owners would have to establish a new deal with this TV property. It's I don't know. I think we lost the caller. They gave up on us, but
well, I didn't even know we had one. But so I guess TNA is for sale, But like you said, they're not putting it out there publicly, or they don't want it out there publicly. It's out there now. The TNA, they're basically entertaining offers, right? If a good offer comes in, they're going to entertain it, and then they're going to see what kind of money they can get.
This might be a prank. They keep calling. All right, what's up, guys? What's on your mind? Hey, call. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Hold on a minute, man. We got the same problem we had last week with the live phone calls. We're gonna fix it up.
Told you before we went on the air we were gonna have this.
Yeah, we can never know. We either gotta pick like one or two options, right?
Well, and we were too busy doing other stuff.
Right, we get it screwed up every time.
I have no idea what to do right now.
Let's try it. Go ahead, talk. Call, you're live.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
There you go. All right.
What's up, man? There we go.
Yeah, I just got a couple of quick questions. With WrestleMania coming up next year, do you think we will ever see that rematch with the Warrior and Hogan?
Would we want to? What, Hogan's like 60 and Warrior's like 50 something. I mean for the draw, yeah, I would say Warrior Hogan.
It would look good on a poster.
It would look great on a poster.
And it's good for nostalgia, but the match would be the shits. But then again, it was supposed to be the shits the first time it happened when they were in their prime, because neither was known as a good worker, but it turned out to be great. It wouldn't it wouldn't this time though.
All right. Anything else, bro?
Yeah. Would you think they would do Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania based on what happened last night?
Thanks for the call. That's a good question because it really seems. I mean, I know they're not. But it really seems like they're building towards a Shawn Michaels match, and they're not doing that. But it's again like they're putting all this focus on Michaels, who's never going to wrestle, just like they're putting all this focus on Triple H, who isn't wrestling yet.
Right.
It's just weird the way they're putting all the focus on guys that can't, in the end, sell a ticket or fucking sell a pay-per-view.
And it's not like they're trying to give the rub to these guys, right? Where you had, Shawn Michaels super kicked Daniel Bryan. Triple H ripped Daniel Bryan apart on Raw a couple of weeks ago. It's not even giving the. It's not even
he got
giving
a
guy.
Off Michaels last night.
I guess he got a little rub off Michaels,
Yeah.
and even in the promo the week before, Michaels is given more of a rub than Triple H has.
Well, Michaels has nothing to. He doesn't have to protect his stock.
Like you said, it really does. It makes it seem like Shawn Michaels is going to come back and he's going to wrestle Daniel Bryan, and it would be a perfect, storyline. Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels being the trainer. It's kind of the trainer versus the student.
The match?
Trainer versus student. A match between those two would be off the fucking charts, dude. But I'll say it time and time again. Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Edge. Those three guys are never going to wrestle again. Those three guys, Edge and Mick Foley, no doubt about it. Shawn Michaels could come back tomorrow and put on a fucking 5-star match, no doubt. So, out of the three, who could return or who's most likely to return? Shawn Michaels. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. I don't think so. And
you don't
Shawn,
think Edge would ever?
Interview and said one wrong move and he's paralyzed.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to risk getting back in the ring. So Edge and Mick Foley, 100%.
Guys hear that a lot though. One wrong move and they say, fuck it, I don't care. And obviously he retired because he does care, but you sometimes you're gone for so long, you miss it so much, there's so much in your blood, you can't help it.
Do you think Shawn will wrestle another match?
I don't think he will. I think he's committed to staying retired. He doesn't want to ruin or tarnish the way he exited, but you never know with that fucking guy.
You never know. You're right. You're right. And this seems like the perfect opportunity. Like I said, man, the student versus the teacher. It's perfect. Maybe WrestleMania, something like that.
I would pay to watch it.
I pay to watch it too. No doubt. Great match.
Call, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
What's up, bro? This is me as well from San Antonio. What's up with TNA? Are they gonna? Is Eric Bischoff or is somebody gonna buy TNA or what?
Did you just hear what we talked about 5 or 10 minutes ago? You should have kept them on
Thanks for
there,
the caller.
man. I was going to ask you a question.
No, but he brings up the Bischoff thing, and you could go ahead and tell
Talk about Bischoff.
everybody what's going on there.
He must have maybe tuned in late. We'll give him the
We
benefit
didn't
of
cover
the
the
doubt.
Bischoff thing.
Well, but he said, is somebody going to buy TNA? We just covered that like 5-10 minutes ago. But Eric Bischoff.
Specifically, by the way, as far as we're talking about the sale, Viacom has shown interest.
You want to forget about Raw?
I don't give a shit about talking about Raw. We covered everything.
Everybody, you guys. We can skip Raw, right? You guys, we already did. We already did.
The Wyatt family attacked Punk and Bryan. The Shield team's breaking up. Fucking Triple H stole the spotlight at the end of the show.
We'll talk
you have a
news.
great video of the post-Raw happenings that you should plug.
Yeah,
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah,
I know
man.
Vince kind of did it before, but it was funny to watch.
I'll plug that real quick, and then I want to get back into
TNA.
you have interested parties that are
Yeah.
All right. I put up a video last night. We got a video sent to us post-Raw. It's Triple H and Randy Orton's in the ring. Stephanie McMahon's out there. Triple H basically tells everybody, get out. Get the fuck out now. Go. He didn't say that, but he said, get out. Get out of my arena.
Yeah.
The show's over. Go home. He hires them all, and then he
JBL,
fires
call
them
the
all.
cops. You heard me kick them out. They're trespassing. Call the cops. And
Right.
All right, you're all hired. I was like, you're all have jobs with WWE.
And then,
Great.
Now you're fired. Get the hell out. Get out.
this fat guy out of here first.
It's an awesome video. I
funny.
launched a YouTube, right? I launched a Ryan Clark YouTube video last night, right? And Matty Boone reports on a couple sites. 24wrestling.com is your main website.
That's my favorite one of the three.
It's your main three, or your
It's
main
the
one out of
smallest
the three.
but yeah.
But that's your baby.
That's
right?
my baby.
So I asked Boone to do me a favor. I put it up on the websites that I report at, and then I asked Boone last night, hey man, do me a favor, put this video up. You were gracious enough to do that. Thank you.
Please, how much you do for me? Fuck, forget about it.
So by the time we came on, we had 17,000 views on that video.
And it's
of
only been
post-Raw
what?
last night.
24 hours?
Less than 24
It'll
hours.
be 24 hours in like 5 hours.
About
now.
midnight.
Yeah,
About
so-
midnight. Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning, right.
Yeah.
So it's got like 17,000 views. You guys should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's
channel?
It's no, I don't.
Just go to the
I don't.
post on WZROnline.com.
It's up there.
Look for what you didn't see on Raw. The video's there.
It's up there. So it had 6,000 when I woke up this morning, and before we came on here, it had like 17,000, 16,000 something. So I'm sure it's up at 17,000 now, above 17,000.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Crazy.
No doubt. So check that out.
Funny
Now,
shit too. But yeah, as far as people interested in buying TNA, the names I heard:
TNA.
Viacom,
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett, Eric Bischoff, and WWE.
And
I heard
WWE.
were the interested parties. What that means, who knows? I mean, we'll see. But the Bischoff thing is interesting. You can tell everybody what's going on with Bischoff.
All right. Robbie in the chat room giving the numbers. Over 20,000 views. I'm
It's a bigger
telling
house
you.
than that was in the building.
I'm telling you, I get up between 7 and 8 a.m. every morning, and I put it up last night at about 12:30 or 1 a.m., right? And it had 6,000 views when I woke up this morning. Through the day, it just kept getting thousands and thousands more, right? Rygal says at noon today or something, it had 10,000, right?
Yeah, when I got up at 2 p.m., it was at 12,000, almost 13,000.
Almost 13,000. Before we came on the air here tonight, about an hour and a half ago. Go ahead.
I'm trying to do it in between your
Do your
sentences.
thing.
I don't know what to do.
About an hour and a half ago, it had 17,000 views. Now we got Robbie in the chat room saying 20,000 views, man. So that's crazy. Crazy. It's a popular video, man. Real popular
Yeah, there
video.
was more people watching that video than were actually in Raw.
Right?
In the building.
Yeah, pretty much. No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so check it out, man. Boone just brought up interested parties in TNA. Viacom, Spike TV, right? Jeff Jarrett, WWE, Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff. Let's talk Eric Bischoff. Last Thursday, there was a big meeting in Salt Lake City, Utah. Is where the Impact tapings were held. What you gonna do, motherfucker?
To Eric Bischoff.
To Eric Bischoff, no doubt.
You're
no
fired.
Doubt. I thought you were
Basically.
gonna hit the Jeopardy theme on
No.
to be honest. So there was a big meeting last Thursday, backstage meeting. At that meeting, Dixie Carter spoke to the entire TNA roster. Jeremy Borash also got up and spoke about social media, taking videos, uploading them to YouTube, putting stuff on Twitter. So Dixie Carter spoke up, and Jeremy Borash and Jason Harvey, Eric Bischoff's
Hervey.
Herbie.
Yeah.
Rick Ross, TMZ. I'm a big fan of TMZ, right? And
Mark Henry looks like him now.
A little bit with a new look. So they give TMZ gets Rick Ross out, right? And Harvey Levin is in charge of TMZ, right? Yeah. So Rick Ross gets all fucking. He gets real pissed off with the photog, like sarcasm. He was being sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
With the photog, and he's like, "Yo, Harvey Levin, we're gonna rename him Harvis. His name's Harvis from now on." So every time they get Rick Ross out, which is a couple times a week, Rick's always Harvis. Tell Harvis that Rick Ross looking for. Whoa. So,
because of Jason Harvey. I was like, what the fuck does this have to do
Jason
with
Harvey.
anything?
Jason
Okay.
Harvey. Harvis. When you said Harvey.
Gotcha.
Harvis. Rick Ross's name for Harvey Levin. Lame story.
I was trying to find the tie-in to
It's a lame story.
Okay.
Whatever.
He loves TMZ. Every day you hear
So Jason Harvey, yes, Harvey spoke up
Wonder Years.
during the Wonder Years, right? Spoke up during the meeting as well, and they announced to the roster that basically we're going to try to go back to Orlando full time, as it really hasn't worked out on the road. We're losing a lot of money, and it's just a lot
cheaper to do.
It's a cheap alternative to run back in Universal Studios in Orlando. So they are going to take the TV tapings back. And they announced that Eric Bischoff would be working from home. A lot of people said, working from home, does that mean he's no longer with the company? What's the deal here? And it led to a lot of speculation. Eric Bischoff, who is normally one to come out and rip into the dirt sheet websites for saying that he's possibly gone from TNA, has been completely silent.
Basically, when the dirt sheets are wrong about something, he's quick to fucking tell them how wrong they are.
He's right on him.
He hasn't said a word this time.
He hasn't said a word this time. According to sources today, Bischoff is done with the company. He's under contract. He was sent home from TNA, is the basic gist of it, and then TNA's cover-up was Bischoff is still working
like
with
Jim
us.
Ross with WWE. He retired, but he was really fired, whereas Bischoff was sent home. But they say he's working from home.
He is still under contract until early next year, and they are going to pay him the remainder of that TNA contract. They have to. He's under contract. He would probably bring a lawsuit, this, that, and the other thing. But Eric Bischoff is donezo with TNA. Like I said, he's still under contract, so Bischoff can technically come out and say, what do you mean I'm done with TNA? I'm still under contract. Well, you're under contract until early next year, and you're still being paid, but at that time, you ain't getting re-signed. Yeah. As of right now, you're not getting re-signed.
We covered that. I know I read in my article. We covered the fact that he's still getting paid, so he couldn't dispute anything we said. And it's more, the only thing he could dispute that we put in the article, at least I put in mine, was that we had heard that he wasn't very popular with the guy.
Nobody liked him. Nobody liked him.
Nobody. He was basically very not very well liked in the company. So
bring Hogan into this too. With Hogan is not under contract still with TNA.
Yeah,
has not reached a deal. You think he's going to be back?
No. I don't think they want him back either. I don't think they can afford it, and I don't think they think it's worth it if they do pay that amount of money. And you can tell by if they're looking for buyers and they're cutting costs around the board, you think they want to give this guy $1 trillion when it's already proven that he doesn't help the bottom line, which is really what they need to fix this year if they want to stay in business? No. So I think he's going to either land in WWE for WrestleMania.
I think with Bischoff gone, bro, with Bischoff gone, Hogan's not going to want to be there. Without Bischoff there.
I mean, he has his own creative control, so he could still just do what he wants, but
they were kind of a package deal. They always were. Bischoff and Hogan were kind of a package deal. Not only that, but Eric Bischoff was head of creative, right? So pretty much anything that you saw regarding Hogan on TV with input, creative input, like Boone said, with Hogan was being wrote by Bischoff, right? Bischoff was doing a lot of the written. Right. Bischoff was doing a lot of the writing. All of the writing in TNA with input from a select few others. But Hogan would go along pretty much with what Bischoff would plan out with some tweaks, whatever Hogan wanted, because he had creative control. So I think Bischoff's gone. I think Hogan's gone. Saves TNA a lot of money, which is a good thing. And even bringing Hogan and Bischoff into TNA, ratings have gone nowhere. They remain flat. So it's kind of
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not a big loss either, in my opinion.
No,
it's not a big loss.
The numbers are going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same. Only they're going to save $1 billion. So
right,
it's better in the long run.
So that is that's the TNA stuff. What as far as WWE news, there's been so much over the past week. We already talked about Shawn Michaels. Vince McMahon, speaking of Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels went to the WWE Performance Center. WWE was in Orlando last night for Raw. They took a visit to the Performance Center. It was Shawn Michaels' first time at the Performance Center. I believe Vince has been there before. I mean, come on. Actually, Vince was at the opening. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Triple H was
he cut the ribbon and all. It was his idea, basically.
I believe. I'm guessing that Vince had been there and was basically giving Shawn Michaels a tour.
I heard he didn't see it until well after the fact. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
I don't think he saw it for the. I think Vince took Shawn there yesterday to kind of give him a tour of this new facility and say, "Hey, look, this is our new studio."
I'm sure just because they were in town, like you said, let's go check it out and everything. But and I heard they didn't interact with anybody, so it wasn't like they were there to meet with the guys that are training to be stars, the developmental contracted talent. But what was the other thing we should talk about?
Come in. Oh, Sting.
Sting is supposedly going to. While we were talking about TNA, we put that article up last week that WWE seems to think they can get him for WrestleMania this year or next year.
I was going to bring that up a couple of minutes ago. Do you think Sting returns to TNA one more year or not?
To TNA?
Yeah.
If they're going to stay in business and they're willing to pay that, because he gets a crazy amount of money too.
But Hogan's gone, so that money can come over to Sting if they wanted to.
If they wanted, that's what I'm saying. I think if they're cutting costs, are they willing to pay a guy that they can't get a lot back from?
Right.
That much money anymore? I don't know if they are.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're trying to save money, I mean, just because they freed up the money with Hogan doesn't mean, well, let's all waste it on another guy who's going to do nothing for us. Because Sting doesn't do anything. I mean, what does he do?
He doesn't.
Really? Shit. Yeah. It's not like Batman. He has awful matches. If you look at that Magnus match.
Yeah, you know what? You say that though, but will you guys tell him in the chat room? Right?
They had a lot of gimmicks to make the match good. But I'm saying as far as actual wrestling, he can't do a lot.
They
need to go out on the floor and brawl. They need chairs. They need this kind of stuff to decorate the match to give it.
I gotta say, Sting on Impact over the last couple of years, he's had great matches on Impact. Something at Bound for Glory, there was something in that particular match where, and I don't think it was the fact that he was working with Magnus, who a lot of people would say, well, Magnus is green, this, that, and the other thing. Sting didn't have his working boots on that day at Bound for Glory. It seemed like he was just dead in there. But on Impact, Sting has had in my opinion, Sting's had fairly decent matches on Impact. Not great, but really good matches.
But in WWE, the work rate is so much higher than in TNA. As far as Sting can't get away with the kind of stuff he can get away. Like TNA, he can have a guy carry him. Or like I said, they can do a lot of gimmicks and stuff to make the match seem better than it is. In WWE, you got to get down to meat and potatoes. You got to be able to work. Yeah. Especially at a show like WrestleMania where you really got to fucking deliver. I don't think he could deliver anymore.
You don't think one match at WrestleMania, Sting could go out there and just tear the house down?
But would they be interested in having him for just one match is the question. I don't know.
I don't think I mean, come on. If Sting were to go back to WWE, he's not working a full-time schedule. Maybe. We know that. I mean, that's out of the question, right? But a part-time schedule, some matches on Raw, some big pay-per-view matches, something like that, I would say he can still do it. He can still go. I mean, I see Sting on Impact, bro, and I think the matches on Impact are pretty goddamn good for a guy of his age. And I think if you were to put him at a WrestleMania or a big WWE pay-per-view, he's going to tear the house down.
But my point is, does he want to? And do they want him, if it's limited, can they use him in a way where it's beneficial to them? And to Sting, is he interested in getting his work shoes, like you said, back on and really going to work again? Maybe if the money's right, sure. And I'll do anything for a lot of money. Probably is the mindset. But does he need the money? And if he doesn't, is he willing to go fucking beat his body up more? And who knows? I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
What else, man?
They seem to think they can get him. RVD. We found out that he says he'll be back soon.
He says he'll be back soon. But once again, like we talked about, he's not under WWE contract. He's basically signing a contract for 3 months.
He's not under a performance contract.
He's under a performance contract.
He's not under a performance contract.
Not under a performance contract. So that's what WWE said. They released that statement where he's not under a performance contract. Basically, he's going to be here for 3 months. If everything goes well, he takes a break. He comes back for another 3 months. If everything goes well, takes a break, comes back for another 3 months, and so on. You know what I mean? But if he's unhappy with one of his runs, it's not like he's locked into it. I think that's the main thing with Rob is He doesn't want to be locked into a long-term WWE deal where if he gets frustrated with one of his short-term runs, he wants to be able to get out. After that contract's up, I want out. I'm done. You know what I mean? And I'm not coming back. So I think that's his way of trying to tell WWE, hey, you better keep me happy, because if you don't, after my next short-term contract is done, or after this short-term contract is done, I'm going. I'm out of here.
I was thinking of UFC stuff to talk about. I just realized next Tuesday is that goddamn documentary I want to see so bad.
What's that?
Tuesday though, during the fucking show.
TV Tuesday.
Yeah, the 20th anniversary of the UFC. You don't have it up. The 20th anniversary of UFC. They did a big documentary about the history of the company the last 20 years.
Oh, you've been talking about that. Yeah.
I heard it's really, really good, and it's going to be on the same time we're on, so I'm going to go watch it until then. Coming back versus Henan Barral for Super Bowl Saturday coming up, and what else they announced? They announced Ricardo Lamas versus Jose Aldo. They announced.
We can talk about Bellator, man. I mean, that's big news.
Oh, that's right.
That fight's canceled. Is off the Bellator pay-per-view. So what are they going to do there, man? I mean,
that card just got fucked up a lot. I mean, the Czech Congo thing, the guy he was fighting got injured. Carl Parisian
today,
he's out. Yeah, but basically the gist is Tito Ortiz, while you get that up, fractured his neck in training. It came out. I mean, he's got the medical stuff to prove it. So I mean, but who knows if he already had that injury and like had it as an out if he didn't want to do it.
True.
Let's get him to promote me, get my name back in the media, get me some fucking some attention again, and then when times to come to fight, I'll just say, well, I got this neck thing. What?
Before we move on from that, did you see Bully Ray today, bro? All right, check this out. I just put it up before we went on the air. He is dead serious. This when I say, you're gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? I got it on vibrate. Bro.
Right.
You told me to put it on vibrate. You see who that is?
No, geez.
All right. So he's dead serious when he says this, and sources within TNA say he's serious. Bully Ray has come out and challenged Rampage. No, wait a minute. Hold up, bro.
Stop.
He's come out. Wait a minute. You guys in the chat room know what I'm talking about. I just put this up on the website, right? He came out and he challenged Rampage to a fight. And he's dead serious. He's not joking. Sources in TNA say that he is serious. And if Bellator is open to the idea, which they won't be. Of course they won't be.
They are.
All right.
MMA is not pro wrestling. They are sanctioned by athletic. Billy Ray would never be cleared to fight a guy, maybe a brand new guy that's starting out in MMA. Bully Ray could fight him. They can't legally do a mismatch to that degree to a guy who's never had a fight versus a former world champion.
What are you trying to? I see it all the time. If you can get an MMA license, bro, you can have an undefeated fighter go against a 1-0 dude if the promotion wants to book it.
No, they can't. They can't do that. No. The only example you could give is James Tony Randy Couture, and the only reason that worked was because Tony had so much experience in boxing that they thought, well, this is a high-level athlete versus another high-level athlete. Bully Ray has no history in anything. They're not going to have him have his first fight against a guy on this level. Well, I'm out of this.
He's an athlete. He's fit. See, this guy in the chat room says he's an Bully Ray's an athlete.
He's not an athlete. He's a performer. He's not a sports athlete in the sense that he has a background in boxing or wrestling.
How do we know that? He's got the Team 3D school that we don't know that.
Wrestling. I'm saying he doesn't have a history in combat sports. He has no background in amateur wrestling worth speaking of.
How do we know that Bully Ray doesn't have a black belt? Well, how would we ever know that Bully Ray?
I would know that. I follow the sport.
All right. Well, there are people in
CM Punk has a belt in jiu-jitsu. I mean, I know shit like this. See, but Bully Ray, bottom line, he could have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. There's no striking in jiu-jitsu. It's just grappling.
I mean, listen. Boone knows his MMA. He knows his UFC shit. But
and let me stop.
I agree. I agree with you people.
Let me stop. No. He's an athlete, yes.
Yes.
But he's not. How do you say this without offending fucking pro wrestling fans? Yes, the guy's very athletic. He's a great athlete. But he has nothing that the athletic commission can see as documented proof that says this guy would be safe to fight this guy. You can't do mismatches like that without fucking... Oh, God, wrestling fans are crazy. I know he's an athlete. Son of a bitch, I know he's an athlete. But you can't do that in a legally sanctioned fight. You can't do it. It's not allowed. It's against the law.
Go Bully Ray. Go Bully Ray. No.
Jesus Christ, guys like they're supposed to have their fist. What do you say? As lethal weapon. What do you call it when you have to say something as lethal weapons?
You've got lethal weapons. Your hands are a weapon. They're a lethal weapon.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm saying. Never mind. Fuck it. Everybody got hung up on the athlete word. I shouldn't have used that word, athlete. He's a great athlete, but he has no history in combat sports. You can't have a guy with no history in combat sports fight a champion-level fighter in combat sports. It's a health issue. A commission will look at that and say, get the fuck out of here. You're out of your mind.
Okay.
But if you want to do it an amateur style, because like the fights in the Ultimate Fighter, those aren't sanctioned fights in the sense that, I mean, they are and they aren't. They're amateur fights considered. That's why they don't go on people's professional records. Mm-hmm. Because that's why they're only 2 rounds with a third overtime round. That's why, it's like I have to explain the entire history of the sport for people to understand it. You can't do Bully Ray versus a champion level fighter. It's just not allowed.
All right, no doubt. And listen, I'm gonna say
RKO is right. He would not get licensed, not for that fight.
Who knows his shit? Who knows his shit in MMA and UFC? And I would say, I mean, hey, let's be honest. It's not gonna happen anyways, man. Bellator is not gonna allow that. Even though there's a Bellator TNA cross promotion, Bellator is a legit MMA company. They're not gonna try to make their main star in Rampage Jackson have a guy named Bully Ray, who's a pro wrestler, come in and face their main. It's gonna make their promotion look like a fucking joke.
Yeah, well,
it's not gonna happen.
And from the Bellator side of things, they wouldn't ever do anything that isn't a tournament. They said this was the one exception they were gonna make was Rampage Tito because it was such a super fight. They said a long time ago, we will never do super fights. The only way you win in Bellator is to go through a tournament, become the champion. And if you want a shot at the champion, you have to win a tournament.
You have to win your way up.
Yeah, it's a tournament, though. Okay. Every Friday they do the tournaments and shit.
All right.
So they said they would never do one-off fights, and they were going to make exceptions to that rule for this pay-per-view. So the fact that a wrestler that's never had a fight, it would never happen.
All right.
It just wouldn't happen.
And Bellator wouldn't do it. You're right. You're absolutely right.
2 other things before we get to rapid fire we should talk about.
Yes.
So they're both Twitter wars. Curtis Axel Conan, and the more interesting of the 2, in my opinion.
Oh, Jesus.
Last night. Tammy Sitch and Damian Darling.
Oh, man. All right. The Conan and the Curtis Axel. Conan we put the audio up on WZROnline.com. It's basically, Conan says whatever's on his mind. And he said that Curtis Axel's got no charisma and whatever. Curtis Axel caught wind of this, went on Twitter and said, Conan, you're talking to a real WWE, you're talking to a real superstar or something like that. Get a life or something like that. It really went nowhere. There was like 2 tweets back and forth. 3 tweets.
Conan tweeted a million times.
Oh, did he?
Axel only tweeted twice.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, Conan called him boring Wonder Bread in an interview. And
Wonder Bread, that's what it was.
Axel finally got fed up and said something on Twitter, and then Conan went fucking nuts on Twitter. And I say 30 tweets.
Right.
A lot of it was answering fans and shit who was talking about it, but it was all about Axel the entire time. And then Axel finally said, "Did you blow up writing all? Did you get tired?"
That's what it was.
Writing all those tweets and shit, and that was that one.
The other one's last night, right? All right, Tammy Sitch, Sonny. Y'all know by now she's a personal friend of mine. All right. I don't show favoritism. I never have. You guys know that.
Is she a personal friend of yours or a professional friend?
She's a professional friend of mine. Never met her or anything like that. I don't show favoritism. She's asked me to do things, to put it up on the website. I've not done it. I told her I'm not taking sides. I said, something comes out, I'll report it. If you've got a press release, something like that, I have a problem doing that, but I'm not going to feed into you into your bullshit. She knows that.
She tried to get you to work the internet once.
She tried to get me to work everybody. I said, I'm not doing it. It's not the way that I do things, and she knows that. So, last night, I don't even remember how it started. No, all right. Sonny came out and said that she had cancer, number one, and as of 4 or 5 months ago, Sonny had sent me a copy of her medical records.
Cervical cancer.
And we put them up on WZROnline.com. There's a gallery up there right now. We put it up, right? I've got proof that she had cervical cancer, all right? I've got the medical records so that I know it was true. She came out a couple of months ago, right after these medical records came out. She said that I'm free of cancer. I was cured. Great news. No doubt she's cured of cancer. She comes out about a week or 2 ago and says my cancer has returned. I don't know if it's true or not. but I do have medical records from 4, 5, 6 months ago that prove that she did have cancer. So
I'll tell you this for my
could
sister.
that cancer have returned?
My sister has the same kind of cancer, cervical cancer.
Comes and goes.
Any cancer can come and go. You can get rid of it with radiation and chemotherapy, and it can come back and spread and all this and that. And I guess in this case of cervical cancer, it's frequent because Jamie, my sister, had it, got rid of it, came back a second time, she got rid of it, and now it's back a third time, and this time it's bad.
Okay.
So it's very possible.
Anyway,
Anyway,
to answer
on Twitter,
AKUJY in the chat room, why would she give me medical records? Comes down to a lot of people weren't believing that she had cancer. Same
well, like
thing,
you said,
same thing that's happening now.
You wouldn't post her bullshit. So if she tells you that and you're afraid it's bullshit, you're not going to post it without
Right.
proof. So she sent you proof so that you could report it.
I blurred the important stuff out. There were, addresses and things like that. They were all blurred out, and we put them up on the website so that we got the proof out there that, yes, she did have cancer. She comes back a couple of weeks ago, says the cancer's returned, and Damian Darling then comes out and says,
her ex-boyfriend,
the ex-boyfriend,
the one that she got arrested for, breaking into his
called
house.
the cops on her numerous times,
guy.
all the arrests,
Indie
that
wrestler.
guy. He comes out and he doubts that she has cancer, and she gets all angry. So apparently what he accuses her of doing is she's going to indie promotions that he's booked at. She's contacting promoters that she knows and says, hey, don't book this Damian Darling guy. He's an asshole. He's a wife beater. He's a woman beater. This, that, and the other thing. Damian caught wind of this and, called her out on Twitter. We put up an article that Damian Darling says Sonny is screwing with his life, right? Screwing with his indie bookings. And I tweeted that to Sonny and Damian last night. They both saw the tweet, and Damian just went on the attack, calling
It's
her
worth
this.
noting, too, that he, up until this point, he had always stayed away from the name calling, away
He's
from
been very cool,
at least
man.
in the public. He
Very
hadn't been in the
cool.
public talking shit about her. He would kind of just brush it off like whatever.
Right,
and
right.
he lost it last night. Yeah,
He lost it, and he's talking about this 40-year-old beat-up pussy, this, that, and the other thing. He just went crazy, and Sonny's just responded. And to be honest with you, Sonny last night was the one that was more mature about it, saying, you know what,
He's
move
saying
on.
she's sleeping with marks for money. and
Move
she's
on,
fucking sitting
move on
with
with your
fat guys in bed for money.
Sonny was more mature about it last night, and then Damian wound up apologizing later on. But this thing went back and forth on my Twitter feed last night, and I'm just retweeting all the messages so that you guys can all see.
Nobody
this
would have been
high
able to read
school-
them, yeah.
This high school, dude, it was like a high school drama fest.
That's what I said. Yeah,
last
I
night,
chimed
bro.
in and said it feels
It
like
was,
high school
like
all over
it was like
again.
Rebby Sky and I from a couple of months
Yeah.
ago. It was like a high school drama fest, man. All over Twitter last. It was beautiful. It was
great.
beautiful. All the tweets are up there from last night. I retweeted all of them, so you guys can go check them out. It's twitter.com/Ryan Clark WZR if you want to check them out. All right, we have 9 minutes to get through about 20 rapid fire questions.
All right, let's do it.
So we're gonna do like one-word answers here.
We're gonna rapidly answer the question.
We're going to rapidly answer the questions. I'm going to do one refresh, and then we got to get out of here right at 10 o'clock because SmackDown's going to be an early night tonight with spoilers. We already have a correspondent in my email, so I'm just going to put them up right on the main website. Here we go. I'm going to read these two. Jay Mullen, awesome Raw last night. You guys are overthinking everything. Let it all play out about the Wyatt, Sandow, and Bryan. Anyways, question. Barao versus Cruz is now confirmed for UFC 169. Who wins? Thanks for taking the question. Love the show. And then,
first of all, the Raw thing, we didn't overthink anything. We all we said was that they're going in a new direction.
just opinions.
I didn't even say it was bad or good. I just said that
It was a good Raw last night.
That's what I said too. Yeah. But I thought the ending sucked with the focus being on Triple H and all that stuff. But anyways, Barao beats Cruz in my opinion.
I'll take Cruz just to bet you some money on that.
It's a close fight, but yeah.
Actually, you know what? He sent me an email.
They're too small.
I'm too small. And I said I'm gonna reorder. I
God
said I'm gonna order the 5 for him, right?
Yeah.
And he said no. You're just gonna give me motivation to lose 10 or 15 pounds. So in addition to sending him the T-shirts, we're giving him motivation to lose some weight too. That's what he said.
They're basically blankets. I can't believe they don't fit. But
Well, we're
is that
giving.
rude?
we're giving them motivation.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's great.
All right.
Anything that helps you get healthy, hell yeah. Speaking of Anthony Remy, he's next up, and he says, do you think TNA is copying WWE with the CM Punk angle with AJ Styles?
Yes, I brought it up to you last night, bro. I said to you, there are two guys, okay? No, with the Shield last night, right? This is my thing. This is my thing.
You're right.
You've got Bully Ray, okay? You think about this. Bully Ray on Impact. Then you've got two guys in Gunner and Garrett Bischoff. Or is it Nux and Garrett Bischoff? I think it's Nux and Garrett Bischoff, right?
Wes Briscoe? Is he
So
in there?
Bully Ray is kind of this Wes Briscoe. That might be
Yeah,
it.
Nux you said was gone. I thought it was Nux.
You've got Bully Ray and the two guys from the Aces and Eights, right? And they're getting sick and tired of Bully Ray's crap, and you can see it with their facial expressions. The Shield cut this promo last night, and Dean Ambrose said something along the lines of, "We're gonna go out there and my title's the only one that means."
Since I'm the only guy with a title left in the Shield, I'm gonna go out there, blah blah blah. But real quick,
and Rollins and Reigns gave him this look.
Yeah, that was the seeds we talked about being planted earlier.
Like, huh?
The breakup. And you're saying they're doing that with Aces and Eights, but at the same time, you know how many times in history there have been tag teams or factions? I can think of one right now off the top of my head, the NWO, with Hogan being too cocky and Nash kind of getting sick of it, and they split apart and do the Wolfpack and black and white.
It's happened a lot.
It's a million times. You get fed up with somebody acting like they're the leader when you think you're just as good. It's just a natural way to break a group up.
It's interesting timing that you've got Bully Ray and then two guys that are giving him these weird looks like, are you serious, bro? You're going to really talk to us like that? And then last night, Shield backstage segment, Rollins and Reigns looking at Dean Ambrose like, you serious, bro? And eventually those two are going to get fed up and turn on Ambrose, right? Same thing in TNA. Those two are going to get fed up and turn on Bully Ray. It's just interesting.
It could almost even be Reigns turning because he seemed to be the one really focused on. So he could, if you look at the group, he's the one you would think could be the big baby face because he's got
right.
But all right, Anthony Remy says, "Where's Remy's shirt? It's on me. Wearing it right now." He says. So there you go.
If you want one of these beautiful T-shirts, WZR on the front, on the back, right here. You won't believe this shit. Hosted by Ryan Clark and Matt Boone, WZROnline.com, every Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time. You can order one of these bad boys. Shoot me an email, webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. $20 for you guys in the United States. $25 for you guys in the United Kingdom due to the shipping cost. Shoot me an email, webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. We'll get them right out to you.
There you go.
Brian Brown, if the devil isn't Kane, and you guys mentioned the possibility earlier, who else could it be? Is Heyman behind it, or possibly Taker? I think it's Kane. I think Kane teams up with the Wyatts.
The devil maybe do it. Could it be Heyman? Because that would be. But then the only problem there is Heyman becomes the mouthpiece, and Bray is such a good talker that you wouldn't want somebody talking for him.
That's true.
Or taking the focus off of him. But yeah,
I think it's Kane.
I think it's the Triple H Stephanie thing, and it's just the way he talks, but he says devil, like the devil.
I think it's Kane, and he teams up with the Wyatt family against four other guys at the Survivor Series pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. I think Kane would be the fourth guy, but as far as who made them do with the attacking people, I think it was Triple H and Steph.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Right.
Who the fuck knows?
All right, no doubt.
Steven Grabaik says, "Hey, Clark, are the Bills going to beat the Chiefs this week? Hashtag nacho cheese."
It's a tough game, man. The Chiefs are
What
still...
kind of cheese is yours?
Nacho cheese!
It's not yours. Yeah, sorry.
Alright, we got, it's a tough game, man. The Chiefs are still undefeated, right? The only team in the NFL still undefeated. I don't think we win that game, but I gotta support my Bills, man.
Hey, they could be the first one.
What am I gonna say? Yeah, they're probably gonna lose, but I'm gonna root for them.
I want to say this name. Is it your question? I'll let you say it.
Jesus Christ!
EEZUSKRYST. That's beautiful.
What are your views on Stephanie's sweater cows from last night? Sweater cows? What's a
cows? I have no idea. Did she have cows on her sweater, maybe? I don't know.
Did she?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, the tits?
Sweater cows?
Maybe the tits were big and fucking sticking
big
out.
boobs.
Yeah, because milk and cows and stuff. I don't fucking know, but she had big tits.
Milk and cows. I like it. If you're referring to titties as cows, I like that,
because
bro.
they've got nipples.
Because they've got nipples and the milk and the cows. Yeah, I get it. All right, no doubt.
Whatever. I like Stephanie's tits, even though they're fake.
I'm gonna call titties cows from now on. Yo, look at them cows. Damn.
Come on, milk them cows.
Ugh.
Paul Velasquez, do you think Stephanie will use her new monster cane to face Big Show? No, I think she's gonna use Randy Orton. But yeah.
Let's see here. We got, oh god, here we go. Jay Sullivan.
Alright, what does he got for us this
You ready for sex therapy, bro?
15-year-old needs some advice on how to get laid. Here we go.
Alright, here we go with Jay. It's a long one too, man. Sex therapy coming up on WZR TV. Alright, first question, and my headphones are on. Halloween is this Thursday. Sure is. Happy Halloween. My girlfriend does not know about this, but me and my friends for the past 3 years have been egging, papering, and shaving cream people's houses. Now this year, I'm not sure if I should do it or not, because I have a girlfriend. Should I do it or not, Clark and Boone? I know it's mean, but I'm a teen, and it's fun. He's also got a second question, and his headphones are still on. Do you, Clark and Boone, know any good sex positions I can try with my girlfriend?
I mean, you should just naturally know how you want to bang. It's just whatever feels the best for you, buddy. I don't know.
Alright, so here, the paper and the...
I like the downward dog. I like
the egging and the papering and the toilet paper. I mean, yeah, you do that stuff as teens, but my man, when you grow up, you know, you look back on that stuff, and that's somebody's property. And granted, it's only tissue paper and toilet paper and eggs and things like that, but if you're egging houses, man, somebody's got to go out there with a hose. The house owner's got to go out there with a hose and clean their house. It's not really a cool thing to do, man. It may seem like it when you're a teenager, but when you grow up a little bit, man, you look back on it, it's a dickhead thing to do, man. You're damaging somebody else's property. If somebody went and egged your house, if you spent $200,000 on a house, alright, and somebody threw eggs over it, next morning you gotta go out there and take all this toilet paper. It's not really a cool thing to do, and I don't think it's gonna impress your girlfriend all that much by papering and toilet paper and everything else. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. And then the second question was sex positions. Yeah, like Boone said, just let it happen, bro. Start with a little makeout session, you know what I'm saying? And then kind of lead into it. If you want to take it from behind, let her take it from behind. If you want to do it from the front, if she wants to get on top, do what you gotta do, bro.
But as far as throw the fucking eggs if you want to throw the eggs.
Don't throw the eggs. Well, all right, throw the eggs at people, but not somebody's house.
My thing is, he said because he's got a girlfriend, should he stop? Listen, in general, should you throw eggs at people's houses? No.
No.
But if you have been, and it's a tradition with you and your friends, you do not stop being who you are because you're getting laid now. That's very important. Don't let the woman change you.
All right, listen, man. I'm gonna be. Listen.
15. Maybe when you're 25, 30 years, then you fucking
I'm 30. I'm 33 years old, bro. All right. And listen,
boys will be boys.
People go out there and they spend $200,000 on a house. People throw eggs at the house, and the paint chips. And if you don't get that shit off, it's the same thing with cars. Somebody spends. If you've never had a car, if you go out and spend $20,000 on a brand new car, somebody comes up on Halloween night and eggs your car. You're not going to be pissed.
You didn't hear my answer, did you?
You said
it's wrong. No, I didn't. I said it's wrong. You shouldn't do it. I said, but if it's your tradition, his question is, should he stop because he has a girlfriend? No, you should stop because it's wrong. But if you're going to do it anyway, or if it's what you do, don't stop because you got a girlfriend. Now, who gives a fuck if you have a girlfriend? That doesn't mean you have to change everything you always do.
All right.
But you shouldn't do that.
All right. You want to throw eggs, throw them at your friends. You know what I mean? Do it at your friends. Don't egg cars and houses. Don't do it.
Yeah, they train. Look up the Kama Sutra for sex positions. They got like 20 billion of them. Some of them that you'll never get to, but yeah.
All right, here we go. We got Jason Peak. This is you, but I'll take it. What's your opinion of Brad Maddox? Thought his sell of the Big Show punch was great.
I did too. It was awesome because in super slow motion, it still looked legit as fuck. To the point where he was questioning if he really got hit.
It's 10:02. Brad Maddox, he's a good heel.
Good heel.
He's a good heel.
We just done with these, or are we gonna go through them? Or
quick.
Vincent Nugent with Damian Sandow losing the World Heavyweight Championship, Money in the Bank briefcase, and cashing unsuccessfully against John Cena last night on Raw. Despite losing strong in defeat, do you guys think this is a good thing or a bad thing for Damian Sandow going forward? We explained all of that earlier.
It's a bad thing. Sarah Stones, hey Ryan Clark and Matty Boone, my 21st birthday is today. Can you all wish me a happy birthday? And by the way, Matty Boone, you are hot. You are hot. Damn.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mac McCod, how do you say that? McCod? PBSforums.com. Bully Ray says he could beat Rampage. Just how hard did you laugh posting that news? First of all, he could never beat Rampage even if they fought, but yeah, I would laugh really hard. Jay Sutherland, third question.
Sarah
my headphones
are off. What the fuck is wrong with you? This dude hot? Get the fuck out.
Third question from Jay Sutherland, our 15-year-old horn dog. He says his headphones are off and his speakers are on now. I let my girlfriend Shannon listen to hour number 1 of WZR and she is a fan now. I'm going to save my money How much is it for 2 t-shirts? And do you have women WZR t-shirts?
We'll get you one.
I mean, these are the same shirts whether you're a guy or a girl.
WebmasterProWrestlingScoops.com. Anthony Remy, Matt Boone, you need to start playing Training Montage, Scarface, Tony Montana theme. Hey, let's go. Jay-Z, Run This Town Tonight, Linkin Park, Eminem, and we need a WZR theme song again. Remember Down and Out? That was a good one, bro. I like that.
I like the Training Montage, the Rocky song. I like that one. Michael Benitez.
Sarah Stone, what's wrong with you?
What would it be like if WWE does in fact buy TNA? Would we see Sting go to WWE this time around? Those are 2 separate issues. And what would it be like if WWE bought TNA? It would probably cease to exist.
Matt Johnston, I have an eraser shaped like a dog, a bottle cap, and 25 cents. Do I have enough to buy TNA? I can throw in a quarter, but that's all. Oh, that's a cheap shot, man.
Hey, man, they're not worth that much. So you might be in the running.
I think they're worth quite a lot more than that, bro.
Sarah Stones, if you own TNA, how would you...
Sarah Stones.
If you own TNA... You really can't.
I'm playing.
Somebody's attracted to me. He can't let it go. My God.
Stop.
I'm fucking gorgeous. What
I'm
did I tell you?
playing with
If you own
man.
TNA,
You're
how
ugly bitch, bro. Look at you.
How would you make your product better? Who would you sign and fire, and how would you get TNA out of the hole? Out of the hole. You said hole. I need a Beavis and Butthead laugh queued up. But yeah, that would take forever to explain how they could get better and shit like that. We'll talk about it next week.
Christopher Bound, if this is big, this is a big if.
Oh,
Speaking of big ifs, you don't stop posting news, you ain't getting no pizza.
Oh. See, that doesn't make any sense unless you explain it, but yeah. I worked too hard for the guy today, basically.
If the WWE... Catch up, kid.
That's my nickname for him, the Ketchup Kid.
Catch up, kid. If WWE were to buy TNA, what are the odds of us finally getting to see an Angle Swagger feud before Angle hangs it up in the wrestling tights? Angle Swagger because of the...
ankle lock, the history in amateur wrestling. Yeah, they both do the ankle lock, too.
Yeah, a lot of guys, if WWE were to buy TNA, a lot of the guys in TNA are going to go over to WWE. Not all of them, obviously, but I'd say a good percentage, at least the bigger names, they're going to head over to WWE.
I say before it's all said and done, Angle ends up back in WWE either way.
He will.
Vincent Nugent's back. He says, what do you guys think about Bellator 106 and the overall card for this upcoming Saturday night?
One line.
Who you guys got? I could have been done by now. Who you guys got for the new main event for the lightweight championship, the featherweight championship, interim light heavyweight championship, and Fightmaster welterweight tournament final? I don't even know all those fights off the top of my head. So Joe Riggs wins the final.
Arturo Velasquez Jr. Will Undertaker ever face the Wyatts, in particular Bray Wyatt?
Yes.
Have to see what happens.
I mean, eventually you'd think it has to happen, but if Undertaker's only got 1 match left, and it's this year at WrestleMania, I don't think
not going to be against Bray Wyatt.
Exactly.
Not going to be against Bray Wyatt. That does it. It's been another Tuesday night TV Tuesday.
SmackDown spoilers coming up on WZROnline.com and 24wrestling.com. Check them out. Check me out on Twitter. Twitter/MattBoone420. Come at me. Please follow me. I'm a great guy. You want to follow a good guy, right?
We want feedback tonight too, man. Feedback. Please submit feedback.
By logging on to Facebook.com/ Ryan Clark WZR. Once you get that, the top post will ask you for your feedback on tonight's show. What did you like about tonight's show? You let us know. We'll do more of it. What didn't you like? Let us know. We'll do less of it. This is how we get back.
We talked a lot of wrestling for you guys tonight. We jumped right into it. A lot of wrestling. Even you, Sarah Stone. We want your feedback. Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Right now, feedback post is going up. So go over there, submit some feedback. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time, WZROnline.com for the hot kid, Matt Boone.
That's me!
This is Ryan Clark.
Hey, that's him.
So see you next Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time on WZROnline.com.